The answers are quite often really simple. It's just the problem is we're often looking at the surface for the solutions rather than going to the root cause of the situation from where the situation can be completely altered. The lunar mansions, also known as the Nakshatras of Vedic astrology, hold the key to the situation that you're dealing with. And I want to help you to turn that key, unlock the door, and open it and step through the other side through one of my astrological consultations, which you can schedule with me at the link above. So sometimes we get really, really, really excited about nothing at all, right? But we make quite often something out of nothing, right? And then when we're caught up in the process of making something out of nothing, we quite often miss something that would have been simple if we weren't focusing on a whole lot of nothing. Now, somewhere in your life at the present moment, you've likely got your dander up about a particular situation. It's got all your hairs standing on end, bristling, and you're ready to go and acting with excitement in order to create much needed change in one area of your life or another. But the thing is, this approach may have worked well in the past. As a matter of fact, in a few recent circumstances, you likely found that it did. And that's why you're considering this same approach to the situation where you're going, all right, if I just act strong, hard, and yes, maybe even fast in order to deal with this situation, then I'll be able to turn the tide. The thing is, though, is quite often that makes the work harder for us. At the time of this particular new moon cycle, with the new moon taking place in Uttara Ashadha Nakshatra, we've got a lot of Mars-driven energy acting in the background, giving things a little bit of an extra push. Now, Purva Ashadha and Uttara Ashadha are the former and the latter victories. And with Uttara Ashadha Nakshatra, yes, even though things do change and alter with time, and quite often the solutions that come through Uttara Ashadha are not immediate, but a little bit further down the line. It's just the way that this nakshatra behaves. The solutions with Uttara Ashadha are often achieved not through sheer brute force, but through a widening of your awareness. Now, with Mars transiting Purva Ashadha Nakshatra, there's a sense of invigoration, a thrill, a wildness about this chase or pursuit of a solution that you're caught up in. And while you're caught up in the thrill of that particular chase, yes, it may be fun, it may get that adrenaline going, but quite often that adrenaline has a tendency to wear you out. And you come out the other end exhausted. You find yourself pushing for solutions in a way that perhaps if you would have just maybe taken a step back and looked at things with a broader sense of perspective, it would have made your life a whole lot easier. As a matter of fact, you may find yourself in a scenario where you're pushing so hard for a solution that you actually achieve the solution and you don't recognize that you've actually achieved it already, right? And that sounds odd, doesn't it? But you see, here's the thing. You'll find that Uttara Ashadha Nakshatra is connected to a cow, right? Now you're asking, how do cows deal with this situation? If you've ever watched a cow run, a cow doesn't just stop immediately on a dime. The cow gets going and begins to pick up that speed and pick up that steam, and it takes a while for it to slow down and ultimately to stop. And so quite often with Uttara Ashadha Nakshatra, when we're pushing too hard for something, we kind of overshoot the answer. And you may actually find in this particular situation that you could have accomplished something a lot simpler, a lot more simply than you are making yourself go about it. And as I mentioned, you may find that you already attained somewhat of a victory, and you're pushing for a victory that you already kind of have had. So why not make it easier on yourself? Why struggle against something senselessly when instead you can struggle with a whole lot of sense instead? I'm only kidding. Best not to struggle at all. This solution is likely going to be achieved or attained with a little bit of a push from your side, but it's going to be solved much more deeply through emotional maturity. And I'd like to help you to find that space through one of my astrological consultations. You can schedule one of those with me at the link that you'll see above. That's going to do it for this look at the new moon, which takes place in Uttara Ashadha Nakshatra on January 11th, 2024. Until next time, please do take the very best care of yourself. Bye now.